Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this evening's meeting of the Community and Place Committee. First things first, we normally have a slot here for any members of the public, which we haven't got any members of the public here this evening. Welcome, Councillor Twos. I believe Councillor Twos is going to chat when we get to agenda item 10. So moving on, do we have any apologies, Julian?
Yes, we do. We have apologies for Councillor Martin Strauss and apologies from Councillor Vanessa Garcia.
Agenda item 2, do we have any declarations of interest, including disposable pecuniary interests you may have in the agenda items that accord with the requirements of the Parish Council's Code of Conduct, and to consider any prior requests from members for dispensations that accord with the Localism Act 2011, Section 33 B to E, but this does not preclude any later declarations. Councillor O'Donnell.
I should just say that I'm a ward member of Peace of my garden. Nothing tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, Councillor Pollard.
I'm unsure if I'm supposed to declare interest in that. One of the items on the agenda is application for Ward Members Initiative Scheme in my ward.
Thank you. If there's anything that's sort of, for me, I'll usually just say, and then then the democracy side of things can say whether it's or not. Thank you. So next we turn to the minutes. We've all read the minutes and to approve and sign as a correct record the minutes of the previous Community and Place Committee meeting held on 27th of May 2025. And I understand Councillor Ellis, you proposed some amendments, and I have got the amended minutes here.
Oh, you've got,
yeah. So they've been amended to reflect your comments.
right,
So
I have them.
essentially, it now reads for purpose of the YouTube, that the chair of any working groups reporting Community in Place Committee provided an overview of the business conducted since the previous committee meeting. So Young People Working Group, Councillor Caroline Ellis, and the Young People's Working Group met for the first time and agreed a recommendation proposal for a specialist youth services consultant, which is on that agenda, tonight's agenda. They discussed and agreed the terms of reference for the group, which will be updated to cover youth engagement. The group requested that officers follow up and action the demands of the young people who met with councils recently, including councillors Deane, Smith Roberts and O'Donnell, in relation to safety at the Critchard Way underpass and the need for the installation of CCTV cameras and mirrors to enhance safety. And finally, more generally, the group is keen that whenever young people engage and put forward recommendations, we listen and act, and this will set a positive tone for our youth engagement and hopefully become standard practice. So those are the just amendments that we've made to those minutes. Any more questions on the minutes circulated? Happy, then can I have a proposer? Pollard, and a seconder. Yes, all those in favour? All carried. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the forward plan. So this is looking at the work that we are looking at tonight on this. That's open. Any questions on the forward plan for the June? Sorry, ahead of myself. Questions? Thank you. Let's move on. to agenda item 5, which is the update from Chair Deane. So again, it's not too much because we met quite recently. So just briefly, that the Taunton Together 25 planning is still going strong. The Green Fair took place last weekend, and the evaluation on that will follow. So just as we have events, we have the evaluation. Pleased to report the Chew Valley Hall recommendation was approved by full council recently, which is brilliant news. And the youth provision specialist is moving forward, and perhaps Councillor Ellis would like to feedback on this under the working groups coming up later. But no, I think that's all for me. Have I missed anything, Craig? All right. So moving on then to the update from the chairs of working groups. I did have a little bit of feedback from Councillor Garside regarding the hospitality, tourism and leisure working group. So just pulling out 3 items from that. So they've agreed to look at awards for hospitality and the council for the best ethnic restaurant, the best local food. Higher qualifications for students planning on working in the hospitality area, and tourism in Taunton working with GWR. I think more or less captured, because I know Craig was at the meeting as well. So Councillor Ellis, would you like to be back on the youth working group?
Yes, we had a good meeting. I think it was the 3rd of June. I can't remember the exact date. Anyway, so this was to discuss the specification for the consultants to do a sort of gap analysis and what have you of youth services. So we had a really good session, lots of input, and then following that, Craig has written a really good, high quality document, which is now been circulated, and you've commented, and some of the other members of the working group are feeding in. So that will, all of their feedback will go into that document, and then it's coming to the next community in place for agreement. So that's the youth working group, and then the climate one is meeting on the, I can't remember, the 7th of July. Can't remember. What is it, the 1st? Anyway, there's a meeting coming up soon, and we've asked a member of the Youth Parliament, one of our Somerset MPs, young lad who's really engaged in campaigning on the environment. He's going to be joining us, so that's really good to be able to bring in a young person who's really active in that field to directly contribute and help steer what we do on climate and the environment.
Anything from the arts and culture working group?
No,
Okay, thank you very much. And then just briefly, the civic task and finish group met recently, and we've managed to go through the civic protocols and the mayor's handbook, and make some recommendations on that. So the meeting went quite well, didn't it, Councillor O'Donnell? So yeah, I think that's all the working groups feedback. So we'll move on to local policing, verbal update, and I believe we've got Sharon online. Hi, Sharon.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome. Would you like to give us your update?
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me in. Thank you very much for the question as well from Councillor Julio. I've not had any update in relation to whether we've spoken to, I'm assuming WW is the Wessex Water people, but I will chase that up with the PCSOs and ask them to make contact with them. We've not had any, or certainly I'm not aware of any complaints directly to us with regards to the abuse there, but I know that that was what was raised. So I'll ask the PCSO to double check with the company and make sure that they are reporting things through correctly so that we have got that. In relation to the speeding that was also raised, I know that we've got a very active community speed watch group in Kingston St Mary, but I'm not sure as to whether their sites come down as far as Hope Corner Lane, and I don't believe they do. So yes, I mean, that's an interesting point. I would like to know, obviously, who's raised those complaints, and has that got through to us, or does it sort of sit with the councillors? Have people complained directly to us, and if so, you know, I would really like to make contact with those individuals, so that we can sort of chat that through, really. But yes, very concerning if actually an 80-mile-an-hour speed has been recorded at 9 a.m. in the morning. So I'd just quite like to know where that information has come from, so that we can, you know, look at that and link in with the speed enforcement unit, and link in and see if we can do any enforcement there, because that's obviously very concerning. I do a lot with community speed watches as well, and across our Somerset West area, so that includes Wellington, Minehead, Taunton, Bridgewater. We've got over 40 active community speed watch schemes, so that's you know, a brilliant educational volunteer scheme that any member of the public can get involved with. So we did have an active scheme in Hope Corner Lane, but that hasn't been active now for a little while. So, you know, if any, I would encourage any members of our community to come forward and set a scheme up. That would be brilliant, because that can also help and really deter with speeding. And I can certainly send some more information in relation to that. Lots of things happening for us at the moment, as you would always imagine, but I know our sergeant has delivered some GRT information to parish councils recently, a sort of question and answer session, which was very useful, I believe, and the feedback was very good. And that was just around questions and answers around Gypsy Roman travellers and the sort of impact that they have within our community, and how we can help them and how they can help us. So that was held. We are planning our events for the summer, because obviously they can be quite resource intensive, you know, our T20 events at Somerset County Cricket Club, for example, and our music festivals. We've got Butterfest coming at the top of Wellington Rangway, and we've had, you know, little mini festivals throughout. So we're busy diarising that, and working with our special constables as well, which is our volunteer special constable element of our policing family. They come and support us with that. So we're doing that. We've had some really a really nice good work report that came through from one of our PCSOs just recently. We've had, as I'm sure you're all aware, we've had small spates of rural crime in some of our more rural locations. Corfe just recently, Blagdon Hill previously in April, and one of our PCSOs was out and about giving some crime prevention advice to a member of the public, and letting them know that that had actually happened just recently. And because of that, the member of the public saw a suspicious vehicle. They called that through. Our police attended and responded, and actually that vehicle was stopped and individual spoken with. So, you know, just little pieces of business as usual for us, our business as usual work, but actually just how good that communication and how useful and how needed that communication is from our PCSOs to the community. So yes, lots going on. Obviously, we've got Glastonbury weekend this weekend coming up. So a lot of our resources are targeted around that area, and we'll be supporting Glastonbury. Our PCSOs don't so much, but our police officers do, from the neighbourhood policing team. So our PCSOs will still be working this weekend, but obviously a lot of our PCs will be supporting the extra policing demand that Glastonbury causes. But still a really good event, and we want to make sure that all of those hundreds of thousands of people are really safe there as well. So that's great. So yes, just lots going on. I don't know if there's any other questions that anybody would like to ask.
Thank you, Sharon. Any questions for Sharon while she's here? That's where done.
Yes, thank you, Sharon. It was me who raised the question about speeding, because we got the information from our SID. So we had an SID up at Kingston Road. It moves all our SIDs, we've got 6 of them, 7 now, and they move around the town. We are publishing all our data directly onto our website, so if the police do want to see what's going on in the town, they can always have a look. I know it's quite slightly labor intensive, but you know, if you have an interest in what's happening speeding around the town, please do look at our website, because we are putting up the data there.
Yeah, lovely. Thanks, Councillor O'Donnell. I was aware of that because I think there'd been a meeting, hadn't there, with Sergeant Emer and Bruce Inglis, one of our volunteers who works within the community speed watch area for us. And I know there had been some discussion and some information around that. So yes, I mean, SIDS for us, we've had and been working alongside funding, etc., with the PCC for a good few years now. So yes, it's great to see and to hear that there are several other SIDS now across the town centre. And yes, I was aware that your information is now being stored to be used. All we would say is, and we've said this previously, is that yes, when we have extreme speed, we can't rule out that actually that's not an emergency vehicle. We can't keep making those excuses and saying, well, that must be an emergency vehicle. But I think it's just bearing that in mind that actually when we do have some extreme speeds, it could be, because SIDS don't record vehicle registration numbers, do they? And we know our emergency vehicles move at speed. But yeah, without a doubt, very useful to see trends and to be able to pick up those pieces of information, and also for our community speed watchers to be aware of that. So perhaps they can tailor their speeding sessions when the data is showing that actually they need it. So I think, yeah, really good collaboration.
Thank you very much, Sharon. So if there's no more questions, I think we can let you go, Sharon, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Yeah. Thank you very much for your time.
That's all right, no problem. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. The next item is Ward Member Initiative Scheme, and for that's Lingford Park Nature Hub. This was submitted by sorry, the screen was taking time to load. So yes, so let's hand over to Craig to deliver this report.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. So good evening, councillors. So this Ward Member Initiative Scheme discusses the ward member proposal by Councillor Liam Pollard for the development of a Lingford Nature Hub aimed at enhancing Lingford Park in North Taunton through community engagement and improvements. So the Her Ground project has been developed with Somerset Artworks, and they've engaged with over 150 participants, primarily women and girls, through workshops and events to gather feedback on enhancing Lingford Park. So that included Lingford Park Primary School, Prizewood Library, and community events like Pride in Prizewood. So some of the key improvement suggestions, participants highlighted the need for better safety, aesthetics and accessibility, suggesting features like seating, murals, improved lighting and inclusive play equipment. So the Ward Member Initiative Scheme is seeking £5,000 to cover the costs for seating plants, workshops and educational signage, with a detailed budget provided for transparency. The initiative is planned in 3 phases over summer 2025, so this year, to next summer in 2026. Contingent on the funding available. I don't know if Councillor Pollard would like to add any further information on the application. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you. You covered it quite well, to be fair, but just like to add, because I noticed in the risk assessment about paints and sprays being used, I've been assured that everything that they plan on using for this project is going to be completely sustainable, essentially. So they won't be using anything that'll be harmful to the environment. They're very keen on making it as green as possible. But I'm happy to answer any questions.
Anybody have any questions, Councillor Ellis?
It's not really a question because we did look at this, the grants committee, and then recommended it be referred to the Ward Member Initiative Scheme, and it's obviously an amazing project. So Somerset Artworks know that community really well, and there's been so much engagement around it, and it's just such a lovely scheme that really meets the community need, and it's also been based on engagement with a lot of young people. So again, it's a way that the town council can be picking up on young people's desire to have improvements in their own neighbourhoods. I think it's a great scheme, and well done to Liam for bringing it forward.
Absolutely. Thank you, Caroline. Councillor Isaacs.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Just some more from Councillor Ellis's point there. All three of the ward initiative schemes has been through in front of the grants committee, and we did have several members of the public or groups or where we asked lots of questions on the evening for the application, and then we felt it better to pass them over to this members ward initiative scheme. So we have seen all three and been quite scrutinised through the application process. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Isaacs. Neil. So let's go to the vote. So members are being asked to consider the ward member initiative scheme submitted by Councillor Liam Pollard. Can I have a proposer? Councillor Ellis, can I have a seconder? Councillor Isaacs. All those in favour?
I thought I wasn't allowed to vote on this. Submission, fair enough.
That's carried. Thank you, Julian.
Yes, that's going to look weird. Well, a vote.
I actually want some typing.
So turning now to the next ward member initiative scheme, and this is from the Wellsprings and Robarton member Councillor Rob Isaacs. We're being asked to consider the ward members initiative scheme application for Wellsprings and Robarton ward for £4,000 for the rejuvenation of a pond located at Wellsprings Primary School. Will, would you like to take us through this? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. So yeah, as you mentioned just a second ago, yeah, this is an application made by Councillor Isaac to use £4,000 of ward members initiative scheme funding from the Wellsprings and Robarton ward for the rejuvenation on at Wellsprings Primary School. The school has approximately 300 students, and the school sees this as a method to include wildlife, get children out and learning through, in support well-being, enrich opportunities and inspire curiosity within the pond. Works include refiguring and relining the ponds, clearing and tidying the surrounding area, the replacement of an old shed and the replacement of worn-out educational equipment to facilitate the learning within the pond. In terms of how it meets the corporate plan, it will help enhance a green asset and improve ecology to the local area, as well as positively engage children to better engage with the environment. Encouraging restoring local wildlife, and it will be a valuable asset for children for Wellsprings Primary School.
Thanks, Will. Would you like quite a few words, Councillor Isaac?
Yes, please. Couple of things. The passionate, very passionate people who put this forward to us, it's going to be a great educational tool and a quiet space for people to go. They've also supplied with, as it was when it was originally installed, which, as you can see, was a far different thing than as it is now on the pictures. And that's not through general neglect or anything. It's literally degraded over the years that it's been there and it's fallen in completely into disrepair, which is a shame. But it's nothing to do with any deliberate of not maintaining the pond. Just wanted to make that clear. I think a couple of us have been there and actually seen the site, the pond. It was originally installed with the help, I believe, of Wessex Water at the time. I've asked them at one of the local events that we've had to see if they could fund some more money, because we are slightly short at the present time on the total fund needed with the VAT. So there are other funding opportunities being sought to raise the full capital that's going on at the minute. But it would be a very good addition to that very large school in that area. If anybody has any other questions, please do ask. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Isaacs. Any questions? I also think it's a wonderful idea as well. I think it's absolutely brilliant. So,
It's not really a question, it's more of a comment and observation, because we actually spent some time at Wellspring School last Tuesday with the council, and so we were shown the area that they want to improve, and just mixing with the children at school and mixing with the teachers, they're going to see what a benefit and a valuable resource it's going to be to them, actually, and I think the kids are looking forward to it. So I think we really should be supporting this one. I think it's going to be great education for them, and something they will remember and take with them, and hopefully they will take with them into their life the importance of the environment and protecting it and appreciating it.
Thank you. Thank you. Any more comments? So let's go to the but so we just to reiterate, we're being asked to consider the water initiative scheme made by Councillor Isaacs for £4,000 for the rejuvenation of a pond at Wellsprings Primary School. Can I have a proposer, Councillor Isaacs? Second, Councillor O'Donnell. All those in favour? Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Last but not least, another ward members initiative scheme. And this is being submitted by Councillor Fortus, and it's for £2,410 for the installation of 6 new bike racks within the churchyard at Taunton, Minster. Just see if we have a report with this one, and I think this is over to you again, Wills.
Thank you very much, Chair. So yeah, this is a ward members initiative scheme for the ward of Victoria, submitted by Councillor Twos for £2,410. It concerns the installation of 6 new Sheffield bicycle stands in the northwest corner of the churchyard of Taunton, Minster, between the existing notice board and the boundary wall. These will be securely fixed to concrete below ground level and the surrounding area to be strengthened, and also allow for grass to grow in and around the area to not affect the local environment within that churchyard. Doing this will provide great opportunity for residents, worshippers and visitors to the town to cycle into Taunton, as it's in a very central location. It encourages active transport, and it helps to enhance both the town centre and the local ward of Victoria. It has had a support from multiple it's had support from the local Taunton area cycling campaign. Someone called Mike Ginger has given the support for the project and champions it, and I will now open to any questions.
Thank you very much, Will. Councillor Twos, would you like to speak in support?
Yeah, again, Will, thank you. You've done a very good job of introducing it. I wasn't sure if it was the done thing for members to come down to these, but I appreciate you giving me a chance to speak. I won't keep you long. I think it was implied in that, just so members are aware, this isn't for just for use for the congregation of the Minster, even though it's in the curtilage of the church. They were very clear that this would be open to all members of the public. The church have a vested interest because some of their parishioners are, if that's the right term, are having to chain their bikes to the wall, which is causing damage to the old wall, and this will help to prevent that. But it's a very small application to start with, but I'm very pleased to put it forward. It went through the grants thing committee, so I think it's had quite a lot of scrutiny. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Twos. I think it's fantastic. If anything, there's also a shortage of bike racks in Taunton, and anything that can get people on their bikes is a really good scheme. Any other questions? Councillor Isaacs.
Thank you, Chair. Councillor O'Donnell had his hand up first, but I'm sure I have. You can't see him. Thank you, Chair. Just one comment there on the original, this came before the grants committee. I was a little bit naive on what bicycle stands or things, and it mentions a Sheffield bicycle stand. And I did make the inquiry, was it a covered thing that might encourage rough sleepers, but it literally is a hoop in the ground sort of thing. So just wanted to let anybody's fears that are listening in. So thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions? Any more from Councillor O'Donnell?
Yes, I just wanted to quickly ask, the spacing of the hoops is 1 metre apart, which is good. Are they far enough apart where you can get 2 bicycles per hoop? So one either side, because just in case something for them to check the spacing, because I would be ashamed to see that 1 bicycle per hoop when you can get 2 bicycles per hoop and you can store twice the number of bicycles there.
Yes, thanks, Will.
I should think that there would be sufficient space. I believe when they made the application, they was said that there would be enough space for up to 12 bikes. I know that they've left gaps either side for accessibility cycles and things like that. There is those features involved. So I would assume that there's sufficient space, but I'm not certain.
Thanks, Will.
It'd be good just to check.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chair. Just a quick one. I was just reflecting when looking at the report and the detail that there was a question raised by one of my fellow colleagues regarding signage. So when the bike racks go up, just making it clear that bikes left there are at the responsibility of the bike owner, and actually the responsibility may not then fall to the church if it's within the grounds. Just being clear from that perspective. But thanks, Chair.
Yeah, thank you. No, that's a good point. It's a really important point. So shall we go to the vote? So done the page over already. So we're considering the All Members Initiative Scheme submitted by Council Twos for the installation of 6 new bike racks within the churchyard at Taunton Minster at a cost of £2,400. Can I have a proposer? Councillor Pollard, seconder, Councillor Ellis, and all those in favour? Thank you very much. Thank you. Through this. So item 11 is access to information, motion to include the press and public. Yeah. So during the discussion of the following items, it may be necessary to pass the following resolution to exclude the press and public, having reflected on the presumption in favour of openness. This decision may be required because consideration of this matter in public may disclose information falling within one of the descriptions of exempt information in Schedule 12A to the Local Government Act 1972. The committee will need to decide whether, in all the circumstances of the case, the public interest in maintaining the exemption outweighs the public interest in disclosing that information. And the recommendation is that under section 100A4 of the Local Government Act 1972, the public be excluded from the items of business on the grounds that it involves a likely disclosure of exempt information as defined in paragraph 3 of Part 1A of Schedule 12A of the Act, namely information relating to. Can I just clarify that we're actually talking about the item 12, this particular one, because there's sort of different little in here. It's talking about different. So I think it's just where it's just how it's been written. So this is relating to the event management safety plan 2225, which I recommend that we do suspend and we do exclude the public for this one. Can I have a proposer? That's Pollard and a seconder. That's O'Donnell. All those in favour? Thank you. Carried. That's brilliant. Thank you. So our last item on the agenda is the event management